and Mike got in. They got us to, come in with you guys. And I've always loved you guys, and I've heard so many great things about you. So, but I have a nerve disorder, and so that's why we got into doTERRA, was to see if the oils could help my nerves.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
So how have they helped you so far?
Well, Angie talked to me about the new Copaiba.
Copaiba?
Yeah, Copaiba.
Mm-hmm.
So I use that, and I take the pill, and I rub mine is not a nervous, like I'm nervous. It's not that kind of.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's where I hurt really bad, and I just want to cry,
Mm-hmm.
And so I use that in deep blue.
Awesome.
That's helped a lot. And then the year that we lost our son, Casey, they came out with the emotion oils.
Wow.
And so that just saved my life. Yep. So that's where we're at. So Carrie and I are doing it together.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, hi Mom, we're glad you're
Hi,
here.
honey.
Let's see who else we got.
Becky and Otto. Where are you joining us from?
Hi, I'm in Gilbert, Arizona.
Yay.
And I'm new, so I just placed my order and got it last week. And
awesome.
Easton and Rebecca and Matt Spencer and Colin and Harmony Bryce, they shared it with me.
Awesome. How do you like your oils so far?
Love it. And it's interesting because we've had them in our cupboard, 5, 10, 15 of them for a few years. And so just getting to know them better. We've been using them this week. So
I'm
really
so glad getting the chance to dive in. Right?
Yes.
Awesome.
So
welcome, Becky.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us.
Yes, thank you.
Hey, Charlotte. Where are you popping in from?
Charlotte I'm answering for her till she comes on.
Awesome, yeah.
That is Shannon's mom, and she's in Florida. And she was just up here a few weeks ago visiting Shannon in Utah. And so she gave her some oils, and she went back home with them, and she is here to learn more. And then also after we finish the Natural Solutions class, if you want to stay on, those of you who are on the call, and learn a little bit more about sharing doTERRA as a business, then we'll be talking about that.
Awesome.
And she wants to hear a little bit more about that. So
great. Welcome, Charlotte. And Nicole, so glad you could be with us too. I can see a little bit of you. Awesome. Nicole's here nearby. So we're here in Alpine, Utah. Small world when you can hop on Zoom and be together. So I love that we can do these classes anytime, anywhere, and we can connect and share things that have really blessed and empowered us. Nicole, anything special that you want to learn tonight? Any solutions that you're seeking? Let's see. I can hear you now. You're okay. You can also, one thing we'll do just to keep this moving fast. Let's see. One thing that we'll do to keep things moving fast tonight is just, if you want to just chat in the chat box, that's a great way to keep the interaction going, but we'll just share some of the highlights of Natural Solutions. And what I love about this class is that I get to share and learn. In 1 hour, you're going to get to learn what it took me several years to learn. I think it took me 3 years to learn what we now teach in an hour. So some really great insights here for you, and we're going to dive right in. But Angela, you need to introduce yourself.
I'm actually just really excited that we match, because you and I always wear bright colors.
Yes.
And I thought I should have called to coordinate, because we could seriously clash, and we're in perfect harmony. So I love that. So my name's Angela Davidson, and my husband and I have been using doTERRA oils for 7 years. We love the products, and we finally decided to join the rest of our friends and the rest of the world and share doTERRA. And we are just having a great time. And we just can't tell people enough about all the good things that are happening in our life. And I think we'll talk a little bit more about that during the class, some solutions that we're finding.
Awesome. And you've already been able to help and share with a lot of people. And it's fun to see the impact that we can start making as we're just using the oils, and then we can move into sharing. But tonight, our intention is to educate you and empower you. So we want you to know how to use the oils, why. We want you to know how to use them in your home, and we want you to have them in your home so that you can be empowered to use them and have these natural solutions on tap. So I love doing these classes. People sometimes ask me, why do you teach this class, Natalie? And the answer really is that I love the empowerment that comes from this, that when people know what solutions are really available, they feel so powerful and so strong, and they can have these solutions on tap for their family and for the people that they care about. And I just love passing that out. I'm giddy. I get giddy about it, feels like Christmas to me when we get to share this message. So we're just going to hop in, and I'm going to go back and forth from my screen to this little guide, because it's a nice, simple way that you can see what we're talking about, just even here virtually, okay?
And we'll post a link to this when we're done, because we're recording this, or share that link so they can look it up themselves if they want to.
Perfect. You
don't have to take notes if you don't have to write every single thing down.
We will post this in the chat box so you can know where to download this. You can have it for yourself, and of course you could print it off for yourself as well. So super simple. Actually, I'll just post it really quick.
Okay. I think one of the things that's exciting is learning about the oils and how they can help you. And I think one of the most exciting things is just kind of being in a pinch, or being in a situation where you need them, and actually using them, and then feeling like, oh, this is really amazing. I don't know. There's just something about having that experience that makes it even better.
Well, Angela, start telling us about the choices that we've got.
So right now, so I'm a mom, and we have an 11-year-old and a 6-year-old. So I always kind of have them in mind. And, one of our options is we have this modern approach to medicine that kind of manages the symptoms and maybe doesn't necessarily treat the whole problem, but just kind of gets things at bay for the moment. And we're grateful, right, that we have those options when we need them. And sometimes we're not super in love with some of the chemicals or ingredients that are in those things. And maybe we're not really being any healthier, but it's, I just kind of think of it sometimes as a stop gap, that it's like stopping whatever is happening. And then we think about the natural approach, where we're actually kind of looking at what is going on in the body that's causing this, and what need is unmet. And is there something that can meet that need? And because the products at doTERRA, which a lot of those are essential oils, and then there's other products made from essential oils, are from the earth, that, God created those for us, for our bodies, that those are solutions that really work with our bodies and support the systems in our bodies to just kind of help us heal ourselves, for lack of a better term. And I just, like in this example, I think about when I am pregnant and have headaches and really bad headaches, and that's the last time I ever want to take pain medicine. And for my body, frankincense and copaiba under my tongue help me so much. And I get the same effect, the same benefit without any of the side effects. And everybody's body's different. Some people, it really helps when they do the deep blue rub on their shoulders and get that out. But I'm just grateful for some options that I can use to help my family.
It's so sweet to have that. And I love, like you were saying, that when you really think about it, if we give our body what it needs, our body can heal itself. Our body is brilliant. It's amazing. And so this cycle is just teaching that. Nature's producing this. We're giving our body what nature's produced, and it addresses whatever root cause it is, right? Like in your case, Angela, that headache is not the root cause.
Right.
Something else is happening. Yep. But we're going to give the body that frankincense and copaiba, and that's going to address really the root cause, and you're going to have less and less headaches. And when we focus on taking care of the root cause and really giving the body what it really needs, then we just flip things around, and we get less and less of the symptoms, and we don't stay in the cycle of like the needs keep remaining, right? So if you've got an orange oil, I'm going to invite you to get out wild orange and just breathe that. This bottle of wild orange right here, it's a great indicator. And whether I just love to get a swipe of wild orange right here under my nose, across my forehead. It's just invigorating.
Another thing that's really great is sometimes some regular or pharmaceutical medicines have side effects. And what I think of with the essential oils is that kind of the, match to that is that you get extra benefits, meaning I'm taking the frankincense and copaiba because it helps my headaches. But I know that the ingredients in those bottles help a whole bunch of other systems in my body. So I'm helping my body in ways that I don't even know it needs, but I don't know exactly what the need is, but I know it's good for it.
Yeah. And what's so beautiful is our bodies are so brilliant. How could we ever know what our body really needs at any given time? We take a blood test or something else just to try and pinpoint things. But when we work with nature, we don't have to understand everything. We can take it in, and our body can use it for what it needs. And, it'll work with our body. So one thing that I love about the oils is they're carbon-based, just like the plants are. And you can see this picture of a peppermint leaf right here. So this picture of a peppermint leaf, if you magnify it, that's what you would see. And you see these white oil sacs right there. That's where, when you pass your fingers along a peppermint leaf, that you're running into those oil sacs, and that's all we're capturing in a little bottle of oil is that oil, right? This bottle of oil is just capturing what's in those oil sacs. And then we can have it with us in our purse, in our kitchen, wherever it is that we're going to need that. So really 100% natural, and they come straight from the plants. So they're going to be either steam distilled or cold pressed, the citrus oils. And this next image right here, you see how the cell is drawn out here. And one of the things, this green object outside of the cell represents something like a bacteria, right? Bacteria can exist outside of the cell, and sometimes harmful bacteria start to duplicate. And what do we get? We have a bacterial infection, right? And we can address that with all kinds of things in our world. But But those things that we could address it with also have side effects. So I love how the oils can reach that bacteria and help our body fight that bacteria. But look at what else the oils can do. See how this wave right here is representing how essential oils can literally pass through the cellular membrane to go inside the cell. And that means that they can reach where viruses hide, and that's inside the cell, right? So when normally the only thing you could do is go home and rest and wait it out. I don't know if it's like it is here around where you guys have been, but there's been lots of sickness with all the family gatherings and all that over Thanksgiving. There was just lots of sickness getting passed around, and my kids went back to school, and half the kids were gone from school because of sickness. And so we have just been dosing up with some oils so that we can ward off those viruses, right? That they operate there, and essential oils can help us just be more proactive and address those viruses. So I love what it says here too. If you think about the oils, they actually have hundreds of different compounds. So like lavender, 400 different constituents in lavender. And it makes it very versatile to combat these threats, right? Without building up a resistance. So because there's 400 plus different constituents, and all the oils are different, but most of them have hundreds, then they don't have one or two constituents like you're going to see with the modern approach. So,
you're in and out.
So that helps us stay so that we don't create, some super bug or something like that. Let's see, did we get?
And I think maybe while I talk about this for a second, will you type it in the comments? So I think our family's dealing with some of the same things Natalie is. So sometimes people make up a roller ball or a little capsule with the flume, right? With frankincense, lemon, On Guard, oregano, and melaleuca. And oregano is an awesome oil to just kind of cut through some of that bacteria. So it does smell like you've just made some serious spaghetti sauce in your kitchen. But since I don't love how it smells, we put it on our feet, or we do this roller ball that Natalie's typing, and we use that on our feet. And I do this if we even think we're getting sick or if we are sick. And then we do the roller ball on the back.
Just down the spine.
Just right down the spine in the morning, when you get home from school, at night, right? When we're really kind of in the thick of it. Super awesome. And then basil is another one that helps in that area, especially with respiratory. And it seems like a lot of these colds have some type of a sneezing or a cough or a stuffy or something. But as a mom, I feel so great because I had so many times where I didn't take the kids to the doctor because the time before that I'd gone and I'd said, we're so sick. And they're like, oh, it's a virus. There's nothing you can do about it. I love that there is something I can do. That is really big for me.
There really is. And knowing that you have something to combat those threats, you just don't feel powerless, right? That whole powerless feeling, nobody likes it. We're all looking for real answers.
And I don't know that it means that you don't get sick, because when our kids are at school with other people, but what I have noticed,
got 3 little kids now that are sick. They're building their immune system right now. That's part of life.
What I've noticed is I feel like we maybe don't get as sick, and that maybe we get through it a little bit quicker.
So maybe we would say, hey, it's not that these viruses don't exist right here in the cell, right? It's that the essential oils can pass through the cell and they can inhibit the growth of those viruses there. And that's powerful. So cool.
And one thing we like about the oils that Natalie just posted is there are 5 different ones. So I don't know exactly what's going on with my kid, but I know those are 5 powerful oils. And I know that their bodies will take in the parts that their bodies need.
And then you can kind of have a gamut. And we'll talk a little bit more about how to choose which oil to use.
Sorry, we're just excited about that right now.
But it is. It's great. At this time when we have all those viruses and bacteria coming our way, it's great to know how to address it. So one other thing on the effectiveness of the oils here, 1 drop of peppermint oil is equivalent to 28 cups of peppermint tea. If you've got some peppermint by you, find your peppermint. My kids might have my peppermint. Get your drop of peppermint. Get that in your hand. Rub your hands together and breathe that in. That's so powerful. And that also means that because really a dose of essential oils is literally, for a child, 1 to 2 drops is a dose. For an adult, it's 2 to 3 drops, okay? So if 1 drop is equivalent of 28 cups, that means 1 drop for that child is perfect. That's a lot of power that you're bringing there. That also means that these essential oils become really affordable. So one thing I like to tell people, you can go and have your child get looked at for that ear infection, but it's going to cost you 6 cents if you just use basil and melaleuca behind the ear. And it'll just take 2 drops of each and you'll be good. You know, so you can choose. You've got options. But I love how affordable they are as well with that potency.
And you have them in the middle of the night, which is the big thing for me. So ear infections seem to always flare up in the middle of the night. And we had our 6-year-old woke up, and right before church a couple weeks ago, he just threw up. And I don't know if he ate something or, wrong or had the stomach bug or what. But there wasn't really much I could do, and I didn't have anything to help him that was traditional medicine, but I did have digestin. So I laid him down and had some digestin on his tummy, and then I layered that with lavender, did that on his feet, had him just smell that, and then we set him up with a diffuser with peppermint and wild orange, and every time he would throw up, we would, reapply the oils, and that probably went on for like 2 or 3 hours, and then he rested, and then he was done.
Wow.
So I felt like normally that same bug might have done like a 24-hour to 48-hour process for him to get through, and I just felt like it kind of shortened it, and it wasn't maybe as severe.
Love it.
And I actually had what I needed right there. That's what felt so good.
You take care of your boy right then without anything else. You were empowered.
It felt really good.
It does. When you've got solutions and they're in pain, it's incredible. Great experience. So another thing to remember is how safe and pure doTERRA is. It's safe and 100% pure. So this is really important to understand. And I had used several different lines of essential oils before I started using doTERRA, but I love looking at this image of all these grades of essential oils that there are. You'll see how many synthetic, right? A majority of the field of essential oils is synthetic. Then you've got food grade essential oils, which is a good portion, right? That we're just using to flavor our foods, gums, suckers, all that. And then therapeutic grade is what you and I are most familiar with. Therapeutic grade you might find in a health food store or in Walmart these days or Costco, right? Like you can find therapeutic grade essential oils nearly anywhere. And it's wise to know, I remember thinking, why is this $6 for this big, huge bottle? And this one is $40. And why did they all say certified? No, it said 100% pure therapeutic grade. And I thought, wait, this isn't making sense. And the more I've learned about the qualities of oil, the more I've learned it doesn't make sense, because that therapeutic grade oil is literally, there is no standard for it. And So they could have this much of real lavender and this much of filler and still label it 100% pure therapeutic grade. Okay. So it is just, I don't know if this is a very refined thing to say, but it's a crapshoot, right? When you're buying a therapeutic grade oil, truly. And so I love that doTERRA set up this standard, the CPTG, which is doTERRA's quality and purity standard. And that is what lets us know, hey, this really is the most tested, most trusted, which, you know, we'll have over 7 million homes with doTERRA oils in it this month. Isn't that awesome? Because doTERRA set that standard. They went through the tests to ensure that quality. They raised that standard so that the growers actually had to meet that standard or they weren't going to get their oils bought. And now they've become the most trusted essential oil brand in the world. Essential oil line. So that means you can trust that these plants have been harvested in their natural habitat. They aren't being grown in Utah or Washington state when they should be grown in arid deserts. You know, we're letting them grow where they're meant to grow so that we get all the benefits from that plant. And you can also know that they're verified pure, that they're going to be free of fillers and harmful contaminants. And that is important. And you're also seeing that stringent third-party testing is going to ensure the authenticity and potency of each oil. So I love this story. I heard once, it was about frankincense oil, and all this frankincense oil came and it was getting tested, and it had all the constituents that were to be in frankincense, but they were all in these really different levels than they should have been. And so as they looked closer, they found that, again, there was this much frankincense oil and this much of one of the constituents in frankincense that they pulled out of cypress oil. So cypress oil, really cheap, really affordable to get. And so it was filled with this one constituent that is normally in frankincense, but instead we had an overload of that one constituent. So then that's sold as 100% pure therapeutic grade, and all kinds of people are buying that and using it like frankincense, and then they weren't having great results. And then they start believing that essential oils don't work, right? So can you see the crazy cycle that begins when we don't get quality?
I think as someone, we were using essential oils for probably 4 or 5 years before we were using doTERRA oils because we didn't really know the difference. Mm-hmm. But all I know is that when we would have our other brand of oils, which we didn't have one brand, right? It was like whatever was on sale on the online health food store, mm-hmm. or whatever we went in to get at Whole Foods. When I would just not even do like a detailed comparison, but just smell them or put them in my water or put them on my pulse points, I could tell a huge difference without anyone even telling me there was a difference. So I think people who bought other essential oils and who use doTERRA can figure that out themselves.
They usually feel it just right away. So sometimes it's good just to understand the background behind it, right? So that you can answer that for other people. But there's a really extensive process doTERRA goes through. And if you ever want to see that, they outline that on their website, and it's really powerful. There's also a lot number on the bottom of your oil bottle. And you can go to sourcetoyou.com and you can see all the reports from that batch of oil. So I love that
amazing.
They do that as well. So now they've got so many producers from all over the world that are just work with them, that this really helps them be able to share things like that. Before, they would share that, and then people would go find that producer and then take all of the good oil.
Oh, right.
But now they have agreements that are just with that grower, and doTERRA is the only one that grower grows for. And so those exclusive agreements make it so that they can share all that information now. So any questions so far? Type them into the chat box if you have any questions, or just unmute yourself. We're going to start popping into how to use the oils. And these are just the 3 simple ways of how to use the oils. So aromatically, super easy. Just like we did in the very beginning, you can just take your oil and create what we call your personal diffuser. Rub your hands together and breathe in, right? You've created this aromatic experience. And why is it aromatic so powerful? Because it's the fastest way to your brain is through your nose and through the olfactory. And these teeny molecules that make up essential oils can go right up into the almond-shaped part of your brain, the amygdala. And that's where your emotional center is, and it can do exactly what that oil is meant to do.
I'm getting out green mandarin for that. This is a new one that they released at convention. It is a high vibe, happy, light, makes me feel like we just started summer. It's not too hot, but it's just so nice out. One of the ways that we use essential oils aromatically in our home is diffusers. I like to kind of get the diffusers going in the morning, and that way when everyone comes down for breakfast, it smells good. My kids each have a diffuser. Well, we all have a diffuser by our bed. So if somebody's maybe having a hard time sleeping, they might use some Serenity or lavender. If somebody has a stuffy nose, they might use Breathe or On Guard. Or if you're just, we're kind of feeling holiday-ish right now. So we're like in holiday peace at night, which kind of feels like you just stuck your head in your Christmas tree and then plugged it into your diffuser. Nice. And I like to we each have a couple oils on our nightstand. And so then when you wake up in the morning, I like to just breathe that in, and it just helps me be awake. And then my favorite thing is I put some drops in my kids' showers. And then when they go get in the shower, they
have their own aromatic.
They try to guess what the oil is. But if they're having a really hard time waking up, which is more often than not, I'll say good morning, and then I'll say, okay, just
give them a little whiff.
Take a breath of that, and and I'll say, can you just breathe that in? And they breathe it in, and the grumps just go out the window, because it's really hard to be grumpy when you're smelling tangerine, right? Or sunny citrus. You just can't do both at the same time.
Sometimes when life gets a little tricky, that's a great way to start the day, so that people actually want to get out of bed, right? I think it's really important, especially as the winter comes upon.
It's better than me getting grumpy back, right? Like, wake up, we're gonna be late. So
peppermint wakes you up. I love that you asked that. The one always on my bedside is peppermint, because it makes me want to get up, right? But you'll start to see, look at the other things that we use the oils aromatically for. Just opening the airways, like Angela said, with kind of Breathe. You can use that in the diffuser, breathing in, to boost the mood or to freshen the air.
Purify is my favorite. If somebody's cooked something in the kitchen that I'm like not loving, I just pump that baby into the diffuser in the kitchen, and
it's gone. And whatever it was.
Smelly cars. If something dropped under your car seat, if you don't know what it was.
Purify.
I just put that in a
baking soda and purify. Perfect combo. Take care of those aromatic odors that you don't want in your life. But look at all these things that peppermint is good for, right? So that peppermint that's going to wake you up in the morning is also great at cooling your body. So some of you that joined us from Arizona, you're going to want this year round, right? Almost. You put a drop of that peppermint on the back of your neck, and you can cool down your body temperature a degree in just so quickly, right? I love it. My kids will even put peppermint in little water squirt bottles or those water fans, and you got to make sure and not spray it straight in the eyes. Right. But you can get it on your face. That's cooling you down. So even when we were on an RV trip across the country down in the South in hundreds plus weather, we were just using our little water squirters and it was amazing.
Peppermint is a real pick-me-up. I have that in my car and just in the afternoon if I'm feeling tired and I'm at after school pickup, I'll just, do my personal diffuser with some peppermint or get that going in my car diffuser and just really wakes you up.
Love it. So gonna keep you awake on those car rides. Relieving head tension. If we translate that for you, that might mean not having a headache, right? Head tension, code word is headache here. So a lot of people will put it in the back of their neck or their temples, right, for a headache. And again, you can breathe it in, right? If you've smelled peppermint, you know what it's creating for you there. And I love what you did with Henry and with getting that oil on his stomach. So peppermint, look at how versatile it is, that it helps with all those digestive things, as well as just that alertness and pain, right? The headache pain, all of that is coming together. So that's aromatic. And then we focus in on topical. So topical, amazing. It's the way that you typically think of when you think of essential oils, right? Like I'm going to put this essential oil on my back or on my muscles, and that essential oil is supporting. And really, you can put an essential oil almost anywhere. But we typically are putting it on the bottoms of the feet, especially great place if you have a small child, because you can put any oil, even a hot oil.
Yeah, I was just going to say the other thing I like about the oils on this Natural Solutions handout that we've got up on your screen, it talks about how you can use it for a calm and comforting massage. And I was just thinking about how you can have a massage just with plain massage oil, right? Or maybe some people like lotion. And so it's just kind of up leveling a lot of things maybe that you're already doing. So if I rub Jasper's feet at night, I'll say, what oil are you drawn to? Or what sounds good to you right now? What are you resonating with? And so I could still do the massage with just the massage oil. And then by using the oils, I feel like I'm just kind of enhancing the experience. Maybe I'm using some oils that his body needs, or maybe he just likes how they smell. Right. But it's not like you're maybe doing a whole bunch of different things already doing better or at a higher level.
Totally. So I love with that we've got solutions like this. Let me talk about this fractionated coconut oil. So we talked about putting it on their feet. Well, little children, right? They only need 1 to 2 drops. That's a dose. You can just put it on your feet, just like you do that for Henry. Well, if you want to give somebody a massage, you could use a little bit of this fractionated coconut oil, and you could take 1 to 2 drops and put it in a little dollop of, I'd say it's like maybe a 1/4 teaspoon or 1/2 teaspoon of fractionated coconut oil. You mix that together, and then you could get that oil over someone's whole back, or maybe they went skiing and they're just sore everywhere, or they are lifting weights and they're sore everywhere. You could take deep blue oil and put it in that, in the fractionated coconut oil, and it helps you to get it out there on the body, and it will dilute as well. So let's say I wanted to use an oil on a little baby. A little baby has an upset stomach. I'm going to take that fractionated coconut oil and I'm going to put 1 drop of digestin in it, and then I'm going to rub that together on that little baby's stomach. And it's going to be diluted enough that it'll be just right for that little teeny baby, right? That just weighs a little bit and their skin is sensitive. That's a great way to use the oils really safely, is with fractionated coconut oil. So right here, we talk about deep blue, and can you see this cool deep blue rub? How many of you love deep blue already, right? I know. So this deep blue rub is awesome because it has a whole bottle of this, of deep blue oil in with this great lotion, right? A great instrument to get this oil on you. So before we work out, before my husband, my son, before I work out, we take a little bit of deep blue. You know, you can cover most of a leg with that much. Rub your hands together and you're going to get it all the way on those muscles that you're going to use, right? And it's great for pre and post workout. You can use it on your muscles where there's any muscle soreness or back pain, muscle pain. It's a great tool. So lots of great oils that you can use topically, but when you have an issue, you're going to think, okay, you know, if that muscle's in pain, I'm going to put it there, right? It just makes sense. If I've got a wound that I need to get an oil and help some healing happen, I'm going to apply it right there. So just apply it to the area of concern and you're good to go.
I think it was last week they did a video from the BYU football team locker room. And they were just talking about how they brought it in and said, you know, would you be willing to try this with your athletes? And the coaches said, you know, the trainers, I was a little skeptical, but we let them do it anyway. And that is, so Deep Blue now is sold in this 1 liter pump. And I didn't know that that's where it originated from, that after they took it to BYU and they said they lay all the options out for the athletes, and then they come by and say, I want you to use this on me and this on me, that after a while, all people were asking for was Deep Blue, to the point where the trainers told doTERRA, thanks for bringing this, but this little tiny tube is like not cutting it because we're going through this stuff like crazy. And we're using it so often, this isn't very convenient. So they made them a 1 liter pump, just like your big shampoo that you have in the shower. And then other people found out about it and said, well, we want the 1 liter pump. And so now that's a regular product. It's kind of a fun story, huh?
That's an awesome story. Thanks for sharing. I didn't even know about
And then
that.
they did talk about in this locker training room video how this one extra layer that you can add to just kind of beef that up is the copaiba. Just even enhances that experience. And one thing that I think I knew, but I didn't really use for Deep Blue was just, it really is enhanced by heat or cold. So depending on what your wound or injury or body part needs, when you put that rice bag in the microwave and pull it out and stick it on, or for me, if I have a headache, I like to do Deep Blue, and then I like to do a frozen water bottle or ice pack right back there. It just is like amazing.
I love that. Your heat is going to take it deeper. It's going to take it more toward the bone or the muscle. And that ice is going to help, you know, just constrict things, right? If you want to bring down swelling. So
really amazing.
Awesome solutions.
I also like to put it on the bottom of my feet at night in the summer when I'm hot, because my feet are just a smidge tingly and it makes me feel cool. Same with peppermint.
I love that. Those Arizonans are paying attention to that too. It's nice and cool there now.
Right.
Just right.
You're in the zone right now.
Well, the next way to use essential oils is internal. And just a little reminder on this that it's only with CPTG oils. A lot of oils that you'll look at, you know, you'll read on the side and then it'll say not for internal use, you know, and there's reasoning behind that, right? They don't have the same level of quality. And so it's just not safe to, you know, we use the skin as this filter, And when we put something in internally, we've dropped all the filters, right? We're taking it in. So you can drop it in water. Angela, you like to put some in your water?
I know. I'm
know.
I'm a tangerine in my water right now, but I do really like green mandarin in my water. Grapefruit. My son's favorite is lime. He can't even drink. Yesterday morning he said, Mom, what is in my water? What did you put in my water? And I said, I don't think I put anything in it. It's like, exactly. This does not taste good. And we have in Utah, we have really great water. And I thought he was saying, like, what essential oil did you put in? I don't like it.
Getting
we all
mad
have
at
our
you.
water cups. He's like, exactly. There's nothing in this. I'm like, well, go.
You're empowered. You can get an oil. That's awesome. Well, and I love that. That this is a little rack that we have here in our house. And you can get it at oillife.com. It's my favorite. Maybe you want to ask for that for Christmas. But our kids know the oils are right here. They can spin it around to find the one that they need.
This is usually in your kitchen, you should say, like right in the heart of the home.
Right. They can spin it around. They find the one that they need. Look, they need On Guard. They're starting to get a sore throat. Well, this is a great one to get internally if you've got a sore throat. So what do? They put a little drop on the back of their hand. They give it a little lick. That's the cleanest place, right? So they got that On Guard drop in their throat, and it is killing things in their mouth. Can you tell by my swallowing? So, so awesome that we can get this internally, right? I could also put that in a drop of water and take it in, or for my 3-year-old, I'm going to put it in a drop of honey, or add 1 drop to his oatmeal and honey, right? Then he can just take it in as well. doTERRA has some other forms that you can take it in, a little beadlet. That's just 1 drop in a little bead. And you can just pop that in your mouth, and it's a really fun way to get it in. But internally is so powerful, and it's a whole new world of essential oils. I first went to Australia and I was teaching about essential oils, and they were like, "You're talking about internal use of essential oils? They thought I was a heretic, right? You can't talk about this." No, and I said, actually, you got to look at these oils because we've got such powerful. Let's see.
I think that one thing that I wanted Natalie to mention about her beautiful oil spindle is, at first we used to have like an oil box that had a lid or a drawer, which is awesome. And then once I saw this, I thought, this is so amazing because when they're out, there's just something about them being out that you like. When they're out in my kitchen, then I just walk by and use them. And if they were closed up in the box, I might not have done that, right? Yeah. I mean, kind of even how you keep your vitamins with you, right? That when they're accessible, but especially with our kids, right? When these are out, they're just like, it's just wonderful. I love it.
It is.
So I'm so glad that we learned that from you because it's a big deal.
Well, and I don't know about you guys, but one other way to take them, if you don't want to taste the oil, is to just take an empty gel cap. This one isn't empty, but just a gel cap like a normal, and you're going to open that up. You can get that at with doTERRA on your LRP, or you can get it just at a health food store. And you'll just open that gel cap up, and you can just easily drop. Watch this. We'll show you a little technique.
And those oils that we posted earlier, that Flume, which is kind of like a superpower germ knocker outer. Yeah. We put those in when people are just not doing well. We put those in a capsule. And so if I feel like it's a season right now where everyone's kind of passing everything around, I just make a few up and we have them in the cabinet. And so we do 2 drops of each of the oils: frankincense, lemon, oregano, melaleuca, On Guard. But you could do 1 drop, and then in that roller ball for that we talked about, we do 10 drops of each oil in a 10 ml, which is about that size roller ball. And then we fill the rest of it up with fractionated coconut oil. But if there's any oil like turmeric, that's one of the new oils that just came out at convention. I don't know if you guys have smelled that. I was just looking for it. It's a little pungent. I was really grateful that turmeric came out because we had been taking turmeric capsules. But it is powerful. So if you have one like that, that's just like kind of
done speaking.
I accidentally muted us because I was trying to mute someone else. Sorry. But you can just put that in a capsule and then take it. And it's still that liquid format, and it's just going right into your body. If you have any other questions, you can post those in the chat box. I was just saying that turmeric's a good one to put in a gel cap because it can be a little bit pungent. Yeah. Well, I wasn't going to say taste horrible, but okay.
Angela,
yes.
Show us how you make your little flume.
I know. I just talked to him. Well,
okay,
I have a little setup.
Okay.
But really, we're just pouring.
It's super simple, though.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, great. I'll do it. Here we go.
Yep.
I'm doing it.
Did you tell them how many drops?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
I'm quick.
So, but look, let's get you close so they can.
So we just have a little stand that you can buy at, the health food store for $4 that the bottoms of these fit into. And so we just go like that. We just, go down the row with each of our things. That was frankincense. So oregano is one of the ones that we put in that because it does not taste spectacular. But man, I just feel so good when I'm taking these and I know that people are sick.
Here, let me come closer so I can
I feel like I'm just getting superpowers right going in my body that are going to really help attack what's in there.
So you can see how it just gets right in there and you've got it in the capsule. And you can put whatever combination you need and then close it right up. Swallow that down. I like to take it with food. But great way to get the oils in internally.
Okay, I'm taking that right now.
Okay, Angela wants it. She's claiming
I am like ready to be not getting any of the sickness.
And we're going to teach you one other thing because I touched that On Guard and then reached up by my eye.
Oh, okay.
And so anytime that happens, maybe you get a hot oil.
This oregano that we've been talking about is super awesome and it's really like potent and powerful.
I wiped it on my kids' feet the other day, no problem. But some of it got underneath my ring. And so I had to take my ring off and put some of the fractionated coconut oil on, right? And then it'll just soothe it right away. So I got a little bit of that up by my eye. I'm just going to get it up on there and then the sting's gone. It's diluted with that fractionated coconut oil. So, and you can also, let's say you just have olive oil in your kitchen. You don't have your fractionated coconut oil yet. Just use that. Reach
or your cooking coconut oil, your big bin of it.
But not water. Water and essential oils don't mix. It's just going to heighten.
My husband actually had that happen with his Natalie personal diffuser because he was loving cinnamon. So he breathed that in and then somehow it touched his hand and he came in the other room and his little cheek was all pink. I said, Mike, what's going on? He said, that cinnamon's kind of hot. I said, okay, just get some fractionated coconut oil, wipe that off. And I couldn't believe how it just went away like that. I was really amazed.
So awesome.
I'm going to put a little of that on my tongue. I do like that. Like a tiny, tiny bit.
Just a little bit of cinnamon.
Yeah.
You're
on
powerhouse. Yep. So great use of On Guard, right? Has a lot of cinnamon in it, but it's a powerful blend. Got some other amazing stuff in it too. So we got wild orange, clove, cinnamon, eucalyptus, rosemary. All those coming together to make up On Guard, which just gives you that great immune support. So let me tell you a little secret here. Some people say, oh, I'm sick, I'm just going to use On Guard. If you look at the name on the bottle, it says protective blend. So On Guard is best for when you're first getting that scratch in your throat.
Or the person in the cubicle next to you at work, you heard them coughing.
Yeah, and you're just going to diffuse that so you can cleanse the air, So that's where you're going to start bringing On Guard in. But once you have like a full-on virus or bacterial infection, you're going to go to something bigger like that oregano,
right,
or thyme or something like that. So On Guard is great preventative and for immune support.
Which is why some of the products that On Guard is in are things like hand soap that you're using all the time, right? Toothpaste. And now what's so awesome is they have the mouthwash, which is killing like 99, point something % of germs in your mouth after you brush your teeth. We just keep On Guard roller balls on everyone's nightstand. And when it's this cold season, even if they're not sick, we're just doing a couple swipes of that in the morning before you go to school and at night, right?
Just a little.
Yeah, we know it's all out there in the classroom. We're going to just do a little prevention.
I had my little 3-year-old start feeling sick. And so what did I do? We just, I'm going to show you these capsules. I'm going to stop sharing this, but this is another way you can get the oils in internally. But this capsule right here is called, let's get something that it's behind so you can see it. It's a little golden, right? But it's called On Guard Plus, and that has On Guard, Melissa, black pepper, some really strong oils that are really strong. So as soon as my 3-year-old started with a fever, everybody else got On Guard Plus at dinner, right? So they took a little On Guard Plus before their meal, then they ate their dinner, or, whenever it comes up, you can take it anytime. But that's going to give that immune boost. And that's another way to take the oils internally, that doTERRA has already pre-packaged them in a way that's really easy for you and I. Okay, great question. So back to our class. We've gone over the 3 ways to use the oils. Any questions now on that? Feel free to unmute if you have stuff you want to say, but we're just going to keep on rolling. But hit us with your questions when they're relevant, or you can throw the questions in the chat box, or any questions just at the end as well.
And I've had a couple people text me, so you can even text me,
whatever
you need to do.
Yeah. So I love this cabinet. It shows you just your bathroom cabinet so that you can see what it might look like to live empowered. And I don't know what your bathroom cabinet, a long time ago, my bathroom cabinet did not look like this. It was a lot more complicated and a lot less natural. But this pull first shelf focuses in on those things that are great for life's little emergencies, right? Those things that you're going to need to reach for when somebody starts having difficulty breathing, or a respiratory infection, or an ear infection, or they have a cut or a scrape. This Correct-X is amazing, right? That lavender is amazing for a cut and a scrape.
The other thing that makes me feel so good when I look at this image is, when we first started having kids, I think at that time, that's when there was this big issue where some children had died from cold medicine overdose by accident. From the parents gave it to them. Right. They just didn't really understand. And I remember it was all behind the counter, and it just felt really scary to me. Like, oh my gosh, what if I did that by accident? So one thing I love about the doTERRA products is everything just feels so open. And I'm not scared that my kids are going to, that there's a bottle of medicine that they could actually
that you literally can't overdose, right?
Yeah, I mean, it really just kind of gives me this comforting feeling, because before I did feel like a little scared that something could happen.
So along those lines, can you show us your kids' kit? Because these oils right here are straight oils, and there's no fractionated coconut oil in them. So that's the oil, you're getting the straight plant power. And sometimes it's good to have something that's just made specifically for kids, because if they want to be able to use it or control that dosing, and you don't have to be
so
overseeing
awesome.
it, this really gets them empowered.
They really like it too, because they love doing their own thing, right? Everything is, I can do that myself, Mom, right?
Right.
And so it's so awesome that they can do this themselves. So the kids kit came out at convention, so just 2 months ago.
Yep.
And the really cool thing is it even has little flashcards for them. So I've got, I'm going to pull protective out. Well, actually, I'm going to do stronger because my kids like that one. So they can read their little flashcard that matches their guide. This one says, use stronger on the back of your neck or bottoms of your feet for an added boost or for protection when you're not feeling your best. So my kids take this to heart and they think that's the way to use it, which is really cute. But it's awesome because they can just sit down, they read their card, and I'll just share our favorite thing about these oils. So there's Brave, if you haven't seen these, Calmer, which is the restful blend. And then I think Thinker's coming up. That's a favorite. Thinker is the Focus blend. Rescuer is the Soothing blend. And then Stronger is the Protective blend. And Steady is the Grounding blend. So what I love is sometimes I'll ask my kids, how are you doing? How is school? How are you feeling? How's your classes? And the answer is fine. Everything's fine, right? And okay, that's great. Not really opening the channels of communication there. But what's awesome is, it'll be in the morning and we're getting ready for school, and I'll go in and my 11-year-old is lathering up in Thinker, and I'll say, Jasper, what's going on? I got that big math test today, and I'll say, oh no, I didn't know you hadn't told me that when I said, how was school? How was your classes? How was everything going? So I said, well, I'll be saying a prayer for you while you're at math class at 10 o'clock. And hey, if you want to, we can go over your math facts at breakfast this morning. So for me, these oils are like a window to my kids' soul, right? And they won't necessarily come to me and say, I'm feeling sick, Mom, but they might put Stronger on or Protective. And then I say, what's going on? Right. And then they'll share whatever's happening. So these are like for our family, these are the magic emotional oil window to my kids' soul. But when we were on vacation for Thanksgiving last week, was that last week?
Yeah.
My 6-year-old was kind of running around. He was feeling a little bit cooped up. He didn't get his way on something. And so he went in his room that he was staying in and pouted. And my 11-year-old was right there. And I said, hey, Jasper, can you talk to Henry and find out what's wrong and help him get some oils on, which Henry could have done himself, but it's nice to have someone administer to you or minister to you. And so he sat him down and he took his socks off and he was oiling him up. And it was so awesome because I was sitting in the room, but they could totally do this all on their own. And I felt safe. They felt safe. And they felt like they had a solution.
Yeah.
So my kids keep these. I know some kids take these to school. My kids keep these on their nightstand. They have a little guy that holds them up. And then we have a set in the kitchen because that is just the hub
where
of the
everything
home,
happens.
Right? Yep.
So that's just a sidelight. We wanted you to know about that bonus, but I love.
Sorry, I could talk about these forever.
I love that kit because it's part of the little, when you're reaching for those little emergency.
And when we travel, they take it with them, and then they put their other favorite oils in that pocket. So like Jasper likes Sunny Citrus, and
so
he's starting to use the HD Clear,
zit
roll on. Yeah. So
awesome.
that's like their little to-go kit. It's pretty awesome.
So you guys, while we're rolling through this, I want to see some of the health concerns that you might have, that those that you care about might be dealing with, or maybe it's someone, maybe it's a friend that has already asked you, how do I use the oils for this or that? Type that in the chat box and we'll start connecting some of these solutions.
we forgot to say really quick, the On Guard lozenges, which I call the On Guard cough drops. Those are a favorite. Some people, that's the only thing they use as they're getting started, but they know that when they have a scratchy throat or they're starting to feel sick or whatever, that not only, you kind of almost have to have a cough drop or something in your mouth anyway. And so they love having the On Guard because they're working on supporting their body and just meeting that physical need.
So awesome.
If you haven't tried those, they're seriously the best.
And that's what I would, those On Guard cough drops might be up here. You can see right here that the second shelf is all about self-care, right? And when we do that kind of self-care every day, we just are feeling better. Life goes better when we take the time for that self-care. And doTERRA has some amazing natural care products that are really going to support that serenity. One of my favorites to support great sleep. You can just swipe some of the serenity under your nose or on the back of your neck, or diffuse that as you're falling asleep, or they have it in soft gels, which is my favorite way to take it in and just get a really deep sleep.
I'm going to do a little statistical analysis with my Fitbit, because I don't sleep deeply very long at all, but when I take my Serenity soft gels, I feel like I do. So I'm going to track it with my Serenity soft gels just for fun and see.
I'm excited
because I have all my tracking before, right? And I just want to say on the lotion, that's the unscented, fragrance-free lotion. And for people who really do have those issues with like lotions that have different chemical fragrances in them, that is a really amazing product. And then for people who are just, I want to smell so good, bring on the aroma, I just take my new BFF green mandarin, wherever that went, my sunshine in a bottle, and I get a little, there he is. Awesome. I get a pipette, and I that's a little tiny plastic tube that's like a mini straw, and I fill it up with green mandarin, and then I take that lotion and I just put my little guy in, and I it into my unscented lotion, and then I have green mandarin lotion to put on after the shower. But you could do that with any flavor, I don't know, or any scent, aroma. I don't know if that's what it's for, but that's what I do.
That's exactly what it's for.
Okay, good. I love it.
Right? Because we've got these supports for us so we can have that self-care. We need lotion in the dry climates and when we need that, but then you can put it with an oil to get the oil support you need and the lotion support you need in a natural form. You'll see on this bottom shelf that all of this is about daily health habits. So you'll see what we call lifelong vitality right here, and I'm going to tell you a little bit more about that. This On Guard toothpaste is amazing. If you haven't tried it yet, watch out. Once you try it, you'll never use another toothpaste because it's amazing. But these are just the things recommended for your daily use to keep your health at an optimal level. So I sent, as you get that vision, here's the questions that we kind of asked you about your top health priorities. So drop in anything into the chat box and we'll address that. But you can see these solutions that we've just seen in that bathroom cabinet are going to meet so many needs. And we've hit so many oils as we've gone along the way and just been sharing. Becky, I love what you're asking for on turning to food for comfort. Isn't there an oil for that?
You better believe it.
That's
we got
right.
an oil for everything, Becky.
Pass me the book because I love how, I don't have to know all the answers, but I just have a reference guide that I can look up anything, right? So maybe could we call that food addiction? Yeah, right? So there's this front part, super easy. I'm going to look in this red section. You see how it has the red tabs? And I'm going to look
Where
at
is the chat box?
the chat box is, you're going to see a little bubble with 3 dots in it. And you can just type anything in the chat. Just click on the button that says chat.
Did you tell them what book that is now?
And this is the Essential Life book. You can get it on Amazon. You can get it at Oil Life. It's just a great oil reference book, right? So here I look under food addiction, and
I think all the people on our team have one. So if you want to borrow theirs or look at it or ask them to look something up for you.
So here we go. You can. It's got the very first recommendation. Just a second. We got somebody unmuted. So right here, you've got your first recommendation for food addiction, and that is grapefruit. And you can use that internally, topically, or aromatically, all 3 ways. That's recommended. Then it recommends metabolic blend, which you just look on the bottle, and that's Slim and Sassy. Or you look it up. You can search anytime you see the generic name, which is what you'll find in the oil guide, and then you can search online just on your phone, or you can look on the bottle, and then you'll know what the doTERRA trademarked name is, right?
Can you just say the color part really quick?
Yeah.
The other thing that helps so much is, like, if we've got Breathe in here, I think we do. Breathe is the respiratory blend, and then it's blue.
It's blue, so the label is the same color.
So sometimes
as the pages that talk about that as well.
Just from that, I can get to.
You can get it a lot
where I'm
closer.
going.
So after this part that tells what to use, so those are going to be your top 2 choices, and then there's going to be 3, 4, and 5, right? But your best choice is the very first option, and then you move from there. Okay. And then you can also look over at the side. It says, for more information, addictions, page 222, weight, page 309, right? So you can go to those pages and read more and learn more so that you're up to speed. But then the next section is going to teach you about the oils. Maybe you really are loving Serenity Restful Blend, and you wonder what else it's good for.
Or why am I, maybe it wasn't Restful brand, maybe it's just grapefruit or something. You're like, why am I so drawn to that? Every time I'm at Natalie's house, I'm grabbing that grapefruit, and I know it's happy, but is there something my body is like kind of needing in that? Because I'm really
and it just tells the story of all these oils. So the book's awesome.
Did you already say it comes in an app? Just for the high-tech people.
It does come in an app. The app's called My Essential Life, and you can get it at the Apple Store right now. It'll be out in Android in a couple months. So we got started just a little bit late with everyone coming in, and we're going to take just a couple minutes to close up this class and transition to a little bit more about the opportunity. For those of you that have joined us for the opportunity, stick with us for 2 more minutes, and we'll close up. But
we just love the oils so much. We can't stop talking about them. So
talk to people about how to teach an hour class, and it's like the hardest thing that I ever do is teach an hour class because they're so amazing, right? So you can see a lot of the solutions. Remember, we put the link to download the guide at the very first of our chat. So you can find this on doTERRA.com. Just search for Natural Solutions class, okay? And they let you download the PDF for free. So remember, I told you I was going to teach you about the Lifelong Vitality Pack. It was those 3 bottles right here. So those 3 bottles do amazing things. This little bullet list right here, it goes on and on for all that it's going to do, but it's basically your maximum nutrition for energy, focus, relief, and well-being, and it's doTERRA's #1 product. You may wonder, how could something that's not an essential oil be a #1 product, right? For an essential oil company? Well, it's because people feel so good when they use that. And when you have nutrition as the foundation of your wellness for, then when you use your oils, you're getting so much more out of that because you have that foundation. So I'm going to show you real quick. This is my little essential oil, or this is my little supplement case, and I just got it on Amazon, And I just label it, and I've got my basics from doTERRA. This is my Lifelong Vitality, these 3 right here. And I just take 2 of each of these in the morning and 2 at night. And people ask me how old I am because I have 7 kids and I'm 45 and I don't look like it. And they think it's amazing, right? People are always asking me, how do you do all that you do? Well, Lifelong Vitality is seriously my secret.
For those of you who were on at the beginning when Andy was here, we had somebody come to a class. It was this cute grandma. And she said, I don't know what he's taken, but whatever that is, I'll take it, because he looks like he's, right out of high school or in college.
24.
I was just going to say also on this page that we went over, the more you're down here on the daily maintenance, daily health, it's almost like the way I see it in my mind is if I increase that shelf or those usage of that product, then my need for other things goes down.
Beautiful.
So like, I just think what else can I fill up on that shelf to help me just have a good, stable foundation?
Yeah, I love it. That foundation is everything. And you'll notice that Lifelong Vitality has a 30-day satisfaction guarantee. People, you can get your money back. They'll take care of you. You just try it for 30 days. And if you don't feel better, doTERRA will take care of you. This little list right here is exactly what Angela was just talking about with those daily habits. So it's just recommended that if you are proactive with these daily habits right here, then you're going to be set up for success. So I promised you that goes over a few solutions. You know where to get more solutions, right? And I promised you I'd let you know how to get these oils into your home. So this is the skinny on that. You simply choose the kit that's best for you. So you can buy retail from the person that introduced it to you, or you can get the oils for wholesale. And that wholesale discount will give you 25% discount, and you simply get that discount when you start out with a kit. And there's all kinds of kits. This very first kit is the biggest kit with all the products that doTERRA has in it, right? Incredible savings, incredible bonuses that come with that. That you can select and choose from. A lot of people will choose that if they're investing in a business or starting a business and they want to experience everything doTERRA has to offer. There are other options. This one right here is called the Home Essentials Kit, and it's got a diffuser and the most used oils right here. So these are your top 10 used oils, and they are all very useful and powerful. So this is a really good value. You'll notice that you're saving $86.25 off of wholesale. And let me tell you, this one right next to it is more of a sampler pack. So you're getting these 10 oils and the beadlets, these 2 beadlets for $150 with some savings here. And this is really your sampler pack. But you'll notice that this Home Essentials Kit right here, you're getting 3 times the oil plus a diffuser for less than twice the price. Okay, so some really good value there with the Home Essentials Kit.
So sometimes people say things like, this is twice as good or 3 times as much or whatever. But for my brain, the way that I like to think about when you said 3 times the oils is the sampler pack is a 5 ml bottle. And then the larger size,
the Home Essentials Kit,
is the 15 ml bottle. So for some reason, I like to have that as a math problem. And it's not just some superfluous phrase that you're saying. It really is.
Not a marketing technique.
Yeah, I really like, oh, just tell me the sampler pack's the tiny bottle. The other one is the big bottle. I can get that.
Yeah. So that's the reality right there. This is the Natural Solutions Kit. It's based on everything that it was in our medicine cabinet tonight that you looked at from that other photo. And it has all of that. It's really an awesome value. You save $228 off wholesale. You're getting so much more then a diffuser for free. You also get 100 free product points that you can redeem for a free product the month after with your next order. And then you start at 15% rewards. So let me tell you just a little bit about doTERRA's reward program, because they have a loyalty program. It's basically the smartest way to buy after you purchase your kit is through doTERRA's loyalty rewards program. And basically, you can place a loyalty rewards order anytime, and you can put on it what you need. You can customize that. You can change it or cancel it at any time. But it's a really great option because you can get your oils at wholesale, and whatever you buy on those LRP orders or loyalty rewards orders, you're going to get product points back on that based on your loyalty. So let's say you're going to start out at this 10% back on that first order, but then, say you bought this Natural Solutions kit, it starts out at 15% rewards. So you would get 15. If you spend $100, you'd get $15 back that you could redeem in free oils. And then after 3 months, it would go up to $20 for every 100 that you spent. So essentially, that's really how doTERRA's loyalty program for their customers is. And it's really generous. It's so much more than just 2 to 3% frequent flyer miles or something like that. But it also gives you the option of getting a free oil of the month, right? So if you're getting an order and you're getting that before the 15th and it's over 125 PV just means product value, then you can also get that free oil. So just something you want to pay attention to going forward. So again, these are the most popular kits. Choose the kit that's best for you on that download, or you can simply go to doTERRA.com and put in the number. You can choose join and put in the number of the person that shared with you. They can walk you through this process as well, so you can get the kit that will serve you and your family best. I love this option, and I'm just going to close with this, and then we'll transition to the opportunity that you can change lives. The question is, whose life do you need to focus in on changing right now? Are you changing your own life with your wellness lifestyle? I encourage you to start there. No matter what you choose to do, start there. And so after you get the oils, you're going to sit down with the person that shared with you. They're going to go through this live guide, and it will help you set up and bring the oils more into your lifestyle. Take about an hour, super powerful, so that you can start living more of the wellness lifestyle, right? Another option you have is to share and change others' lives. And this share guide is a great tool. The person that shared with you can help you through that, as well as if you choose to change your future by building an income and making an impact. The build guide is a great tool. So I love with doTERRA that whatever you're choosing, you're really changing the world, right? And with the way doTERRA is set up, with their co-impact sourcing and doTERRA Healing Hands Foundation, all these initiatives are coming together so we can do more good. And that's what we want. We want more power and possibility in our lives. We want more health, but we want to do more good as well. So that is the Natural Solutions class. Any last questions as we're pulling up the build guide? Type in your questions, unmute.
One thing I wanted to say about the points, while Natalie's maybe putting a link in for the build guide, is sometimes I'll just use it's called Chuck E. Cheese pizza, or the crazy pizza place that you every once in a while have to go to with your children for their birthday party of a friend. And if the points are, a bouncy ball that costs 10 cents costs 750 points, right? So I just wanted to clarify for those of you who've been burned on points that sound really great until you get into them. For the oils, it is $1 per point. So lemon oil is $10 and you get 10 points when you buy it. So it's not some crazy system. There are a few products where it's a tiny bit different. like maybe with the Lifelong Vitality vitamins. And
Right.
that's because doTERRA is already selling it to you at such a discount that, you know, you might only get 60 points and the vitamins cost 79. But the points are like a real deal. I mean, you really are able to get your products with those, and it's awesome.
It is awesome. So I'm going to share with you this is where you can download the build guide that we're going through now. It's fun to be able to look through it. You can look through it at your leisure.
I just love that it's called Build.
Yes.
I think you know, for me, one of the things that you know, connotes is that it's positive, uplifting, teamwork. I'm not just out on my own selling doTERRA. We say to a lot of people that we're sharing doTERRA and that we're building a business, because that's what we're doing. And the people who we want to be on our team, the people who Natalie and Andy want to be on their team, they're people who love the oils and who want to share them. That's really just the key aspect for us.
Yep.
And that's what connects people. We don't have to sell the oils. Once people use them, they are wanting to have them in their home.
It's natural, right? So the sharing part is totally natural, and it happens. And I love that contributes to us building a real business, right? Because there's real value there. We talk about doTERRA being this powerful vehicle. Even if there wasn't a comp plan, people would be buying the products. People are product evangelists for doTERRA. They love it, right? And so this provides a powerful financial pipeline, right? So let's just talk about this story here, right? As you reflect on the question of, are you ready for financial freedom? And I love this story. It's so simple, right? This man that hauled buckets of water for a living, and he hauled it from the source to the village that was miles away. And if he wanted to make more money, he just simply hauled more buckets, right? And after many years, he grew tired of hauling those buckets. He was looking for another option, and inspiration came that if he used his spare time to build a pipeline, eventually he could be free from hauling those buckets. So he labored diligently for a few years to build his pipeline. And the day he turned on the spigot, everything changed. He successfully created an unlimited supply of water and improved lifestyle for the villagers and himself, resulting in an abundant financial pipeline. So short, little, simple metaphor, right? And way to tell this story of what can happen as we build a financial pipeline in our life. So maybe instead of trading hours for dollars and not experiencing the fulfillment and purpose that we desire, we can find a tool that can be that pipeline that we can work on, that we can create lasting residual income that will give us the time, energy, and financial freedom that we desire. So where are you? Reflect just for a minute. Where are you in this process? Are you hauling buckets? Not a bad thing, right? It can happen in conjunction with other things, and hauling buckets has its place depending on where you are. Or are you building a pipeline? And sometimes we haul buckets a little bit like he worked on for those years while we build our pipeline. So whatever your situation is, I love the possibility of this pipeline being that true lasting residual income, that there's no limits on your advancement and earnings. I always felt like when I worked at other jobs that literally, my $14 an hour amazing job or $17 cap was just, it didn't matter how well I did my job, I still got paid the same. And I love that I operate in a world now that I just want to create more and better, because the value flows back to me because of it. It's not something that's limited by a wage. And that we also have freedom to choose our schedule and build our dreams.
I think the other thing that's not limited on, which kind of goes along with what you said, is you know, what happens if you're at a company? I have a lot of friends who leave a company or a job that they love because there's no position to grow to, right? Like there's only the CEO or their boss. And then sometimes that makes the person who's above them feel like, oh, threatened, right? And what's so awesome with doTERRA is everyone's, you know, building and sharing where they want to be. And so if someone's like working harder than you or building a bigger team, you're like, go, we're so proud of you. We love that you're doing that. And maybe you're having a baby, right? Or something's going on where you're kind of just holding back a little bit. And that's awesome. It doesn't, there's no competition like that, right?
I had 3 babies during doTERRA and it went awesome because I could take the time off that I needed to take care of my family and get things set up. And then I could come back to it when I was ready. And it supported me with that time freedom when I really needed it. So awesome. I want to hear a little bit from you on these questions here. Where are you at? Type in the chat box where you're at. You ready to build a pipeline? Are you tired of hauling buckets? Are you already building your pipeline on the side?
Are you scared to build a pipeline? How does that feel to you?
That's right. It can be a little bit scary. And I think it's really important to choose wisely who you partner with, right? I don't know if you guys have had the same experience as we have had, but we've had a lot of experiences and we're very trusting. And sometimes we partnered with people that it wasn't the best scenario. And so I look back at our choice to partner with doTERRA, and it's been a really powerful choice because doTERRA is something that that I trust the owners. And I trusted the owners from the very first time I went into a little office building in Orem, Utah. And I met them and I listened to them and their vision and what they wanted to do. And that I shook their hands at the end of that and I could feel who they were and what they were about. And that was it for me. I knew once they told me their story and what they were about that I could partner with them and I could trust them. And it's been 10 years since that point. And we've had big things happen, right? We have a worldwide team. We now have 1,200,000 team members all over the world. We've got teams in all these major countries and a lot of growth. And we've seen a lot of things over that 10-year, a lot of different development stages. And I can still tell you that I trust them, these owners, 100%. And I love what they are about. So let me tell you a little bit more about doTERRA. They were founded in 2008 with the mission to bring the highest quality essential oils to the world. And they were that clear. They had come across and experienced, for one way or another, the power of these essential oils. And this is an image of the 7 owners of doTERRA. And, you know, I'm so glad it's not just one person, because those owners come together and they each have their unique strengths and they balance each other out. And, I mean, look at these strong things that they've already got to show for it. But you'll notice that more than anything, they were focusing on being effective. They wanted to bless lives. And so they became the most tested, most trusted. And right now, this isn't 4.5 million customers, it's 7 million customers, growing so rapidly. So the doTERRA difference is our CPTG purity. And you'll notice because of that purity, that's where we come up with that record-breaking retention. So we are, I love where you're saying, Connie, you want to be part of something bigger than you, the co-impact sourcing and everything. So we're going to totally hit on that.
I just wanted to say one thing about the founders, which for me, with a background in business is so impressive that when I think of my friends who are CEOs or, vice presidents or whatever, and just how people jump companies, right? Because the new company opened and it's this awesome opportunity.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with them taking those opportunities. I'm just saying that really is kind of the norm. And so the fact that these are the original people who started the company 10 years ago, I can't even think of one company that I know that have the 10, or the 7 main people who haven't changed, right? And another thing that they shared at convention is, and we're all still married to our original spouses. And that's a big deal for me. And I know a lot of people who maybe are trying to get to the top or who are at the top sacrifice everything, right, to be there. So for me, it just kind of shares like there's balance and steadiness, which is really neat.
I'll share you a little insider piece, right? We're not going to blast this. We'll just share this with individuals, but a little insider piece is from the very beginning, they were part of companies where they saw a little bit of that crazy going on and they wanted to be preventive about that. And so from the beginning, they put a contract in place between the 7 owners. And it is very clear on what they can do and what they can't do. And if they break any of those things, they lose their ownership. And it has helped and been this safety for them. And I love that because, again, right, it keeps that no matter how much money gets involved, that people stay people. And those contracts have kept honest people honest. And I love that we're set up for success with these owners. And there's checks and balances, right? If one goes off the deep end, they lose their ownership and their influence so that we don't all go down with them. Like has happened with a lot of other companies. So I love that safety and that stability that this owners and leadership team bring. You also experience a lot of stability because of the product itself. So that record-breaking retention, I remember last year, this guy right here, Corey Lindley, he was the CFO. Now he's the CEO. He's taken more charge, as Dave has done a little bit more in international development, but Corey Lindley, CFO of Nu Skin for 19 years, took it to China, tons of experience. He came to present a few months back and he said, hey, in the last 3 months, 80% of the people that have ever bought from doTERRA purchased in the last 3 months. And when you're thinking about 7 million people and over 10 years, that is just crazy numbers, right? And that kind of thing, this record-breaking retention is, they are very conservative on this number that they give out regularly, and it's actually a lot higher than this typically. So really powerful there. And it's unique in that we're different than typical direct selling, right? Most direct selling leads with a business opportunity, and you've got the product sold based on wanting to make it big with the opportunity. And doTERRA, we call it authentic direct selling or authentic network marketing because we lead with powerful products and the products are selling themselves. And we just share a lifestyle that really works and people are really drawn to. And that has been what's taken us to this kind of growth. And honestly, we used to have a couple of other network marketing companies, the 2 highest ones that are really strong. I think they ended up about right here and right here. But nothing compared to doTERRA's growth curve except Apple. And Apple actually followed it, Look right there. We've just followed an incredible growth curve to become a $1 billion company in 7 years. And I love that. And doTERRA is just still growing by leaps and bounds. Some people ask me, hey, have I missed my window with
Right.
doTERRA?
That's what I was going to say, because they look at that chart
right,
and they say, well, it's all happened. So that's awesome. I missed out. And why would I want to start now?
Oh, because it's easy now. Because all the groundwork has already been laid for you, right? We have great supports like this build guide, right? Can you see how simple it is to share what a powerful opportunity doTERRA is? We have this great class handout. We have great supports.
Well, I think maybe just talk about early adopters too.
Yeah. Well, let me pull that up. I love this. We call it the diffusion of innovation.
And while you pull that up, I think another thing is I had this belief that I could only earn so much money based on like where I was at in the company, right? Or that if there was all these other people who'd already started before me, that my opportunity was diminished by them. And your opportunity in doTERRA, Natalie and I are in the same spot, right? We can each earn as much money or share as many oils as we want to. There's nothing stopping you but yourself. And that's a big deal for people because they feel like, oh, that's awesome. It's okay that I wasn't in on this 10 years ago. It's still great. And here's another reason why.
It is still great. Now we're in all of these countries that you can reach. And really the people that first connected to doTERRA were like these innovators and some early adopters. I like to think about this as like iPhones, right? And these are the people that buy the iPhone 10 before there's any reviews back on it. They just buy it because they're innovators and early adopters. But you know, now, and that's what happened in doTERRA. Those early people kind of connected with it and they took some chances. And now we've got more this latter part of early adopters and early majority, honestly. We're just starting to access some of that. And doTERRA, you know, they have a lot more mainstream products that you can use for all kinds of things. And it's become a very mainstream natural wellness company, right? So this early majority, you'll notice, look at how much of the whole growth curve is the innovators and early adopters, right? We're just accessing this early majority.
What's interesting is that actually matches the graph on the other page too. Exactly, if you just look like the other graph is just taking that little first slice
and looking deeper there. That's exactly right. So I love it. Let me give.
So there's lots of good things to come is the answer. And there's a lot of people have heard about doTERRA and a lot of people still haven't tried the products or maybe tried a lot of products or tried the right product for them. And that is one thing that I think maybe we mentioned earlier is that if you try a product and it's, you know, like for me, I shared that frankincense and copaiba helps me with my headaches when I put it under my tongue, on my temples, on the back of my neck. If that doesn't work for you, that doesn't mean that essential oils can't help you with a headache. It just means that there's something else for you.
That's going to work better with your body.
A product that's super popular that doesn't really move me called Past Tense, and it's a roll-on bottle. It's a hot item. I have friends who have to have one in their purse, in their desk, in their car, and that's their go-to. So if for some reason you have a product and it's not really doing it for you, it just means that that's not a match for your body right now. Another time your body might really need that. So talk to whoever shared with you and they'll help you come up with an answer because there's just so many options.
And I love that because that means people are going to find solutions that work for them in doTERRA's offering, right? Notice right here that doTERRA is part of a $3.4 trillion wellness market, right? So if we're thinking about that whole market and what's there, we've just barely touched the tip of the iceberg. And now with 110 countries open and, you know, now I think we're up to 92% of our oils are exclusive from exclusive growers all around the world that are giving us that very best quality. So super powerful.
I was just going to say on the wellness market, a lot of the products that doTERRA has now are products that people are buying anyway. So last night we were at a class and we were talking about the probiotic for kids, which is called Pediassist Junior. And, you know, before we joined doTERRA, and she talked about how she's already buying that for her kids. She was actually happily surprised that the doTERRA high quality product was cheaper than the one that she's been buying at, Whole Foods or somewhere. But a lot of people take probiotics, right? That's not like a weird thing anymore. doTERRA has a wonderful product for that. So you're not even saying like, hey, could you try, these 10 other options that are really out there. Part of it is just trying
look at the very best quality wellness products so that you can get those in your home, right? And doTERRA is matching what the millennials want and what we want, in that they are caring. They want to change the world, and the way that they do business is supporting that. So think about what we call their co-impact sourcing, just like this woman right here. Instead of buying from brokers and giving brokers more money, doTERRA goes direct to the growers, and they pay those growers fairly, and they preserve agricultural knowledge through this co-impact sourcing. This also creates this economic opportunity for them and financial stability in a lot of places in the world that would not have that, right? In third world countries where, this image right here is from Haiti. I went the very first time that they went down there and watched these people work. Oh my goodness. And it was so moving to see the impact that us buying a bottle of vetiver oil could make in the lives of these people. And if you haven't seen the videos, just search for co-impact sourcing, because those co-impact sourcing videos are moving. You will just, right?
You'll probably cry. There's a really neat one for pink pepper that just came out. I thought that was awesome. And the other thing is, they're grateful for the jobs. They don't feel like, well, I'm doing this, but I hate it. They're so grateful that someone is going to come in and pay them. They want to work. They just don't have I think of the Depression, right? Where people wanted to work, but they just didn't have the opportunity to work. So when we say we're creating jobs, we're not like just making something up. Like, we really are creating a job that people kind of feel honored and proud to do.
And when we're empowering people and educating people about these oils all over the world, then it's increasing that demand, right? So can we pay more growers all over the world? Absolutely. And are we going to where these growers are just, I heard the other day that, what country was it? It's where the spice trade happens, guys. And the spice trade was where they just go and they will drive up pricing, and they have bought it from these growers at dirt cheap prices, and these spice sellers, they are just driving up the price.
Like the hotel rack rate.
Oh, and just hearing the story, I think it was Sri Lanka or something like that. And yet doTERRA is just going direct to those third world countries, working with the growers there. And then they'll do things like, you can see right here, which is like put in wells, right? And improve the lives of those people so that it just keeps getting better in their world. So I love that. That's why I chose doTERRA. Look closely with who you partner with. Also, discovering the possibilities with doTERRA's generous comp plan. It's this proven vehicle that you can create this lasting residual income. And this just gives you a little perspective so you can begin to see how those possibilities could work for you. So this starts out at just initial ranks or progression in doTERRA to show you how much, what you might do. You might pay for your product initially by earning reaching some of these initial ranks. And then you're going to move forward to supplement your income. So these next few ranks are going to do that. And you'll notice, you see these different colors all happening along this graph. Well, it's because they all represent They all represent a different bonus that doTERRA pays, right? And so in time, you're not just receiving that fast start bonus in the power of 3, but you've got this unilevel bonus, which is getting paid on all sales that are happening under you. That is growing. And then you add in this leadership bonus as well for becoming a leader in the company. And you can see how that just grows and works for you. And that all comes together so that you can replace and multiply your income. And, you know, I've had a lot of people look at doTERRA's comp plan, a lot of comp plan experts, shall we say. And they have just reveled over how did this comp plan come up with all these great ideas that incentivize great behavior. And I love hearing that because, you know, it makes sense. And I watch it again and again, day after day. I watch how, let's see. Hey, if you're here for the AU Power Mentoring, we're going to be closing up in just a minute. So stick tight. And then Andy will be joining you. Okay.
He's ready.
Those of you joining us from down under. Okay. So let's go back really quick so I can take you on this journey. What I love is this journey supports you wherever you are. If you just want to pay for your product, you can start out here. If you want to supplement your income, you move a little bit further. You share a little bit more, right? You want to replace your income and multiply it. Great. We're going to make a plan and a strategy so that you can create all of that, whatever it is that you desire. And there's some great videos online. I'm going to share, I'll share just sharesuccess.com. There's some great videos so that you can see these comp plan and the comp plan all explained to you there. I wonder if we can just, okay, so I'll drop that in just a minute, but I love just looking at what you value, right? We don't want to just create an income. Our focus on changing lives and creating an income is a side effect. It's a fruit of changing lives, right? That's how it naturally happens. So you knowing what would make the biggest impact in your life and what your why is and why you want to create this is going to help and fuel you. So I invite you to download this and drop into this more. Like, what would make the biggest impact? Is it earning more? You know, and what do you care about most there? Is it working smarter? Is it doing more of what you love? So for us, it was a little bit of all three, and that's what we cared about. We wanted freedom for ourselves and our children. My husband was working 70, 80 hours a week, and I wanted my kids to know their dad. And so we chose to partner with doTERRA because we wanted to earn more so that we could have that freedom and give our kids the experiences that we wanted to give them. And we wanted to spend time as a family together. And now we get to do all of that. So I love that this kind of outlines just a little bit of what that looks like, right? So to get your product paid for, you're looking at a minimal investment, right? And maybe these would be your typical goals and who you would personally enroll. So basically you're just looking here to kind of see which path is best for you.
And it's okay if you don't know what that is right now.
Yeah.
We have people who say that they want to be a part of this and they want to build. And then a few weeks go by and they say, I really want to do this. This is funner and easier than I thought it was going to be. And I want to do more.
Oh.
So just don't feel like you have to know the whole answer right now.
Yep.
And if you know the whole answer right now, awesome.
We're going to plant the seeds and then you can take it exactly where you want to be. So I love that now after 10 years, remember how we were saying it's gotten a lot simpler. So right here, this shows you how success is simple. There's really 3 steps. First, you use your doTERRA products, then you share doTERRA and you teach others to do the same. And that's all we do in doTERRA. This pipeline shows you a little bit more of what we do. We prepare ourselves, right? We invite, present, and enroll our prospects. and we have tools that support that process. And then you've got all these other tools right here, and then we support our team and community. So really how you can get started from tonight is these 3 steps that you'll find at the end of the launch guide, and the person that invited you here can help you right through that. I'm so excited for you and your journey. I'm just going to close. Hey, you Aussies, stick in there for just a minute, and Andy will be right on with you for Aussie Down Under mentoring. But I just wanted to share a little bit more of the reality of our life for a minute. So maybe I'm just going to unplug and walk around for a minute. So I get to wake up and never have to get dressed because I never have to leave my house, right? So I really love my house at Christmas time. This is just a little bit of the Christmas that's happening. And I love that I get to be with my little people, right? And I have oils to help them. When some of them are sick right now, can you guys say hi? Hi. They're getting better with some oils. And I get to work with my husband.
Hi.
Every day we get to create together. And I love that I have that freedom. So I'm still wearing my leggings that I put on this morning, my most comfy pants, my yoga pants, because I can. And whatever freedom is to you, whatever you care about the most, I invite you to download this build guide, find it out, and go for it, because you were meant for freedom. You're a powerful creator, and we're so excited for you to go on this journey with us. It's been an incredible journey. We feel so blessed to be here, and we're so excited for you. So grateful for you. If you throw any other questions in the chat, I can sit tight here and answer them for a few more minutes. But we're gonna transition now. We use this same Zoom line for lots of people, so we're gonna transition now to an Aussie mentoring call that we do once a month.
Yeah, if you just click on this link by accident, you never know what you
could get into a great room.
You might be like training with Australians. You might be, who knows? It's like a surprise.
But I'm going to pop out of this meeting, and then you could pop back in if you're there for Aussie. But love you all. Thank you for the good that you do. Go get your kit, experience your oils, and then share them to change the world.
We love you.
Ciao.